This is literally the best and most important time in history to get your credit score back on track and up to par. So if you have a score under a 620, you're definitely going to want to stick around to the end of the video, or you might miss some key elements to help you get your credit score back on track. And I'm sure you don't want to have bad credit forever, do you? Now, let me be the first to say that by no means am I implying that this is going to be easy or you're going to have an 800 plus credit score tomorrow. No, this will take some time equity, so make sure that you are aware of that, and anybody promising you that they'll fix your credit tomorrow is probably not telling you the truth anyway. So step one is to actually find out what your credit score is. For some reason, a lot of people that I talk to don't even know their credit score, so you're definitely going to want to start here. And no, I'm not talking about Credit Karma or any of these other different platforms similar to Credit Karma. What I am talking about is actually getting your FICO scores and knowing exactly what those are. See, sites like Credit Karma, they use what's called a Vantage score. And a Vantage score is just another scoring model that these type of sites use, and it's fairly inaccurate for the most part. A lot of times your Vantage score is off by 20, 30, or even 60 points in some cases, and this could be up or down for your actual credit score. So it's very important to actually go get your FICO scores. So my recommendation is Experian.com. Experian is obviously one of the main 3 major bureaus, and you actually can go to their site and sign up for a free account where you will be able to get your credit report from their bureau and also get your FICO score updated monthly. And again, this is for free, so do know that. And they actually have a paid monthly plan for $19.99 where you actually can get access to all 3 credit bureaus and monitor your FICO scores for all 3 of those bureaus. Now, don't worry if funds are tight. Definitely go ahead and go to annualcreditreport.com, get your free credit report there, or you can do a simple Google search online to find any reputable place that can get your credit scores and your credit report to you for free. So step number 2, you're gonna want to find out exactly what's on your credit report. So there are a couple typical items and things that could be holding your credit score down. So I want to go ahead and reveal those and let you know what it could be and how to solve it. The most common one, and the one that weighs a lot of people's credit scores down, is collections. I know they suck, we hate them, we've heard all the stories, we know exactly how bad collections are. So what happens with collections when the original lender cannot collect on that money owed from you? They go ahead and sell this for pennies on the dollar to any random third-party collection agency that will take the debt on. And so when these third-party collection agencies get this debt, now they're calling you, harassing you, doing all these different scare tactics to try to get you to pay the full amount of the debt. It's a truly crazy process, but there's a lot of different ways you can actually beat them at their own game. Late payments is the second most common thing that people have on their credit report that is bogging it down. And late payments is simple. You've been late on a installment loan or credit card payment, whatever that it might be. You've been late 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, whatever the number is, and that's why you have late payments on that report. Next is utilization, and this takes up a humongous chunk of your credit score and can really drastically bring it down, actually very quickly. If you have high utilization, all that means is you have credit card debt. It's that simple, and the debt that you have in your credit card is at or close to the available credit limits that you have available to you. Another reason that your credit could be bad or you don't have credit at all is that you're new to credit. Maybe you are 18 or you just never used credit in life, so the lenders have nothing to go off of and these bureaus have nothing to go off of, so you won't have a credit score. Or if you've maybe got everything wiped off, maybe you're coming off of a BK and everything's clean, this is another way where you might not have a credit score and you need to start establishing credit. You also want to check your public records and look for any type of tax liens, judgments, default judgments, bankruptcies, any of these things that could be on your public records that could be bogging your credit score down. I see so many times where people don't even know they have like a tax lien or a default judgment that is on them, and once they actually go check their credit report, they'll find out that they have these type of public records and then can take the proper steps to go and solve them. So now that we've identified what is the problem areas of your credit score, score. Maybe it's one thing, maybe it's four. Whatever it is, you identified it. So now let's go ahead and put a plan together to attack these problem areas and get it corrected. So starting with collections, it's important to know that with collections, they stay on your credit report for 7 years. And as they age, they become less and less effective to your credit score. When you're handling these, you definitely want to check for inaccuracies. And if there is any inaccuracies, dispute. A lot of times when you do dispute and there is inaccuracies, you can get these collections removed relatively easy, because what happens is when you do dispute and you send these disputes directly to the credit bureaus, they have 30 days to go ahead and send this to that particular collection agency, and that collection agency has up to 30 days to respond to the credit bureaus with the proper validation of the debt. And you'll be surprised at how often they cannot verify the debt, and then it'll get removed off of your credit report and you will be one collection down, or if you're in the case of having only one collection, you will be collection free. These debts a lot of times get sold multiple times to a bunch of different credit agencies, and as they're getting sold and moved around, a lot of the information gets lost in transition, and so they'll lose pertinent details that they need to verify the debt. This is a major loophole, and this is exactly how you can get a lot of collections off of your credit report relatively easily. And also, your chances of smashing the like button are relatively high as well, so go ahead, smash that like button so YouTube knows you're enjoying this video and it can spread it to other people that might need this information as well. In the event that you cannot get your collections removed using that strategy, go ahead and reach out to the collection agency, see if you can negotiate any type of resolution. Maybe you pay partial, or they can settle on some type of lower amount. But I do advise, whatever you do, whatever agreement that you come to, please get it in writing. And the most important thing that you want to do with these collection agencies is make sure if you're going to pay the collection, you want to get a pay for delete letter, and they can send this to you either via mail or email, whichever that they do it. And you want to get this because this will prove that they've had an agreement with you that if you pay whatever amount that is agreed upon, they will delete the collection from your credit report. A lot of times what happens is with these collection agencies, they'll get you to pay the debt and just give you a pay in full, which shows on your credit report, but that literally does nothing to you because the collection is still showing. And the current FICO 8 scoring model does not care if you have a collection that is paid off. They only care if it's removed from your credit report, like it's not there, like it never happened. So that should be your primary goal for collections, getting it removed by any means necessary. With late payments, you definitely want to go ahead and reach out to whoever the lender is to try to negotiate and get those up to date if the account is still open. A lot of times they will love to negotiate with you rather than charging the account off if it's still open and having to send it to collections. So this is definitely a great method to use if you want to get your late payments removed. Now I do want to stress that they don't always do this, so this is not guaranteed by any means, but it is a great method to try, and it's also free, so it doesn't hurt to give these lenders a call to see if you can negotiate with them. Now if you're in a situation where this is a charged off account, you're better off just trying to find out if there's any inaccuracies with that particular showing on your credit report. And if it is, as I've said earlier in the video, just go ahead and dispute that item. If your credit card utilization is high, this is a simple one. You just need to create a plan to pay down those credit card debts. I recommend keeping your credit card utilization at 0%, but definitely not over 10%, because once you get over 10% utilization, that's when your score starts to go down and you'll start to see those drastic changes in your credit scores. Now, if you don't literally absolutely have the money at all to pay anything towards this but the minimum payment, I definitely don't recommend you just sitting there doing nothing and accruing interest. So what you can do is actually look into refinancing this particular credit card debt with another either personal loan, installment loan. There's a lot of different companies that do things like this and they specialize in this area. So you'll want to find different lenders that can refinance this debt at a lower interest rate. So that way way. You'll have one monthly payment. You can tackle all of these debts at one time with one particular lender, and then they can go ahead and give you a lower interest rate, and your credit card debts will be cleared. I really don't like recommending the option that I just said, just because if you're not disciplined, you'll get into the same situation over and over again. So please, 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 please use that last option with the utmost caution, and make sure that you're aware of what you've been doing. You know what you've been doing wrong, and if you have to go the refinancing route, make sure when the credit cards are now clear, you do not touch them until those debts have been paid off with that refinance loan that you had to get. Bankruptcies are usually the toughest to handle because, again, it's a bankruptcy. There's not too much you can do, but I have seen people have inaccuracies on the showing of their bankruptcy on their credit report, and when they dispute it, they're able to get it removed. Now, it's important to know with the bankruptcies, once it's fully discharged and you're completely done, after about 3 years, a lot of lenders will start to want to lend you credit again. So it's something that you might just have to ride out if you do have a BK. But again, you definitely want to check for any inaccuracies, like anything, on your credit report and see if there is something inaccurate. And if it is, you'll definitely want to go ahead and dispute those things on your credit report. So in closing, having bad credit is definitely not the end of the world. It's just an algorithm, it's just a score, and you can get it better, no problem. If you're able to implement these strategies that I've shown you inside this video, then I guarantee you that you'll be at an 800+ credit score in literally no time at all. Now, you probably need to know exactly how to use credit cards in the proper way, right? If so, go ahead and click this video right here. It's going to show you exactly how to do that, and also some of the best cards to get if you are a beginner or if you're just rebuilding and you're coming out of having bad credit.